So this Friday on November 15th, Mike Tyson will return to the ring after a 19-year absence to fight YouTuber Jake Paul at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Paul has minimal skill as a professional boxer, and Tyson is 58 years old. So how legit is this fight? Or is this just a show for money? Welcome to Gerald Khalil's Conversation Piece. I share my thoughts on social content, sports, politics, and entertainment. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. So the fight that was originally supposed to take place on July 20th will finally take place this Friday on Netflix. The reason for the postponement was due to a ruptured ulcer suffered by Mike Tyson. This is being sanctioned as a real fight where Tyson would be placing a 50-6 record along with his legacy on the line against Jake Paul, a YouTube actor and now boxer who comes into this fight with a 10-1 record. Now, Mike Tyson, who was born in Brooklyn, New York, became the youngest heavyweight champion ever at the age of 20 in 1986. He later served 3 years in prison after being convicted on rape charges of a beauty pageant contestant in Indiana. He lost an infamous fight against Evander Holyfield by disqualification when he bit off a piece of his ear. But despite his ups and downs, Tyson, also known as Iron Mike and the baddest man on the planet, has been renowned as one of the greatest heavyweight boxers ever. Jake Paul, who was born in Cleveland, Ohio, came to fame as a YouTube creator, garnishing millions of views and followers, which resulted in him becoming a millionaire. The 27-year-old later became a boxer in 2018. And as I just finished stating the obvious differences, is this going to be a real fight where both fighters are banging and giving it their all? Or is this going to be a fight just for show and where no one gets hurt and they both get a big payday? Trainer Robert Garcia, who interviewed on Fight Hub TV, he gives his thoughts.
You as a trainer, how you have a better perspective on game plans, on what a fighter brings into a fight and really what a fight is. What's going to happen in this fight? Because I've heard so many just takes all over the place saying like Jake's going to knock him out and then vice versa. Like Mike's going to knock him out. The longer it goes, the better it is for so-and-so. How do you see this fight, Robert? How is it going to play out? And what do you make of it?
Well, look, I think it's going to be a huge event. It's going to be a huge event. I think it's going to do really good numbers on pay-per-view. Well, it's actually
it's free.
On
Netflix.
Exactly on Netflix. So I think people are going to tune in. I think the stadium's going to be full. So it's a great event. But honestly, to me, it's just a show. It's like people paying their tickets and paying pay-per-view to watch Royal Rumble. That's just the way I see it. Look, Tyson's almost 60. If we go back to his last fights when he was still a professional fighter, his last couple of performances were not very good performances. And I don't even know how long ago that was, 10, 12 years maybe. I don't even know. His last couple of fights, we would have to go to BoxRec and
let me pull it up. Let's see exactly.
But it's been a while.
I want to say like the early 2000s.
Exactly. We're looking maybe 20 years ago.
Let's see here. I'll get the last few fights were in 2003, 4, and 5.
Okay, exactly. So we're pushing 20 years.
20 years, yeah.
And that's 20 years. He was 20 years younger, and he didn't perform very well. His performances weren't very well. He got beat by guys that were nobodies and shouldn't have beat him. So what makes us think that 20 years later, he's going to be a monster like he was in his early 20s, knocking everybody out? There's no way. There's no way.
So you heard what Mr. Garcia had to say. Here's my thoughts. Now, if Tyson was in his prime, he would knock Paul out in the first round. Let's get that out the way. But the reality is that Tyson is nearly 60 years old versus Paul, who is 27. Now, Paul tends to have these type of fights where he has an advantage. He fought and beaten MMA fighters who are not boxers, fellow celebrities like Nate Robinson, who's actually a former NBA player, and now he fights a man who's old enough to be his father. I'm a big fan of Mike Tyson, and I don't want to see him get hurt, especially against that guy, because things can happen. As Mr. Garcia said, Tyson's had some bad performances in his last days as a professional fighter, and that was 20 years ago. His last fight he lost to a journeyman named Kevin McBride. So imagine fighting 20 years later against a man 31 years his junior. It raises concerns. Also, if you didn't know, this fight has some rules attached to it. One is that Tyson and Paul will be wearing 14-ounce gloves instead of standard 10-ounce gloves. The rounds will be 2 minutes instead of the standard 3, and the fight will be contested over 8 rounds rather than the standard 12. Now, do these rules give one guy an advantage over the other? I'll let you be the judge. So I'm hoping for a real genuine fight where Tyson knocks him out within the first 3 rounds. But I'm wishing for the 1986 Tyson, and this isn't 40 years ago. If this ends up as just a money grab, I guess I'm okay with it. I just hate that both Tyson's health and legacy could be in jeopardy. Please leave a comment. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.